If you or someone you know has diabetes, you may have built up an extra supply of test strips and lancets. That's where we come in. We'll buy the supplies that you don't need and resell them to those in need to prevent waste. Help us make diabetes management more affordable. Visit us at teststripswithaz.com.
All right, we have the reigning defending Cage Warriors light heavyweight champion Modestas Bukauskas back on the show. It's been a crazy morning, everybody. Returns to action November 22nd, defending his title against Riccardo Nosiglia. Cage Warriors 111, one of 3 title fights on the card. It's an honor to have one of Europe's most eligible bachelors back on the show. How are you, man?
Yeah, doing very well, thank you. Yeah, everything's going good, man.
So I have to ask you about this show that you did. It's called Take Me Out UK. It is a dating show. Judging by your reaction, you probably saw this coming, but obviously I'm in the US and you are a lot younger than I am. But we had a show here in the States years ago in the 90s called Singled Out, where a guy would get up on stage and there'd be 50 women vying for an opportunity to have a date with this man or woman. How did this happen for you? Was this some more Jason House magic here? How did you get on the show?
Well, actually, it was sort of just random, really. And it was actually filmed last year. It was filmed last year in November, and then we just showed it this year in November. So it was actually me like a year previous. So, yeah, obviously they didn't have the blonde highlights in there or anything like that. But yeah, so basically I was just, doing my thing as usual. And then I got like a notification on Facebook, and me just, being a bit naive and dumb, like it said Sophie Caster, and I thought that was just like a legitimate surname. I was like, yeah, sure, just add this person on Facebook here. Yeah, it should be fine. And then, like, obviously, I think they were expecting me to be like a little bit gullible, and they saw it because it showed on the page. It said, "Oh, why don't you sign up for Take Me Out?" And I thought, why not? We'll give it a shot. So I put in my application and everything, and then about literally 5 minutes after I finished the application, I got a call from an unknown number, and I don't normally pick up calls from an unknown number, so obviously I just didn't pick up. But then I got a message again later on the messenger on the Facebook saying, "Oh, hey, this is Sophie from Take Me Out. Oh, we'd love to discuss your application." And then we had like a hour and a half phone call conversation. Then they invited me for an audition. And then when we done the audition, you literally had to like act out everything like how it would be on the show. So if you imagine there's like 30 girls standing in front of you. So they had like literally pictures of girls up on the wall, and I had to dance in front of these pictures on the wall for my audition and stuff. And then about literally a month after that, they came around my house. They'd done all like the VT stuff, and then finally got on the show, which was honestly the most nerve-wracking experience I've had in my life. Like, I swear to you, going down that love lift was more nerve-wracking than going out into the cage. I actually feel more relaxed and calm going to the cage than I do going down this lift with music playing in front of all these people, dancing my butt off in front of all these girls. So it was a hell of an experience. So I ended up getting a date. We went to what they call the Isle of Fernandez, which really is Tenerife. And then you do your date, and then literally the next morning you fly back. So it was all done. It was a quick flash, all done in 4 days. But yeah, it took them a while to air it. I don't know if they had like problems editing it or something, but yeah. So obviously it was funny. It was very cringeworthy seeing myself on TV, especially acting the fool like I did. I'm like, oh my God. Like, at the time you think you're doing great, but then you look back at it, you're like, oh my Lord, what was I doing? So it's a funny experience, man.
The dancing, Modestas, the dancing. It was like watching a butterfly emerge from its cocoon on a spring day. I mean, it was unbelievable. A lot of times, but it's great because a lot of times, athletes, especially fighters, that I've talked to so many at this point, they're a little bit sheltered. They box themselves in a little bit. You're obviously very comfortable with yourself. Did you, at least, I'm sure the build up for the airing was a little tumultuous, and I know it was nerve wracking. But did you enjoy the experience being on something like that?
Oh, it was amazing, man. Like, honestly, it like, as of late, like probably when I hit, maybe when like right after my injury and stuff like that, I sort of evaluated things in my life, and I sort of looked at things where I need to take more chances, or I need to put myself under pressure situations. I need to, do things that are a bit more daring. And with that sort of mindset, I try to do little things every single day to try and push myself outside my comfort zone. Listen, as a fighter, and I'm sure every fighter out there can relate, you always push your outside your comfort zone in training. Like, that is easy. That is the part that we love to do. But in some other areas of life and aspects, like, even going to a job interview, or going to talk to someone that you don't know and just being confident and this and that, like, those sort of personality things is something that, outside of fighting, that I actually wanted to work on, and I wanted to do something a bit more crazy and just be a bit more outgoing. That was something that I feel like, in life, you should be trying to improve yourself at every chance that you get, or every corner that you go. You should be trying to get better, because, do you know what I mean? You want to make the most out of this life and the most out of this world as much as you can. So with that sort of mindset, that's what brought me just to sort of show out my personality more. Because listen, I was always a bit of a reckless kid and stuff like that. Obviously, I was a little bit more shy. I wasn't like the coolest guy, but I thought, I might want to turn this around now. I might want to, just start being more of who I am, and just not being scared. I think in a lot of situations, fear holds you back, and being nervous holds you back. But as now it's coming to the fighting a lot more, I like to embrace that moment of where it's scary, and almost just saying, whatever, I'll just go and do whatever it takes. And just not be shrugged down by the fear of doing all that stuff. And yeah, so it's played out pretty well so far. And it's gave me some amazing experiences, like going on that show, meeting different people, and I'm still friends with those people now. So, and they're actually coming to my next fight, which is amazing. So, creating great connections with people, being outgoing, just being myself. And the thing is, you feel so much more relaxed in life when you just be yourself. And the thing is, if people don't like it, what I've learned to realize, if people don't like it, cool. If they do, great. At the end of the day, we just keep on rolling. Well
said. Is the woman who thought you were Greek going to be coming to the fight?
Nah, I don't think so, man. Yeah. I know. It's funny because then, obviously, I probably don't want to go into it too much, but yeah, then obviously I said I was Lithuanian and she didn't know what it was and this and that. I can imagine, obviously, on TV it's a little bit embarrassing and stuff like that. But listen, she's a lovely girl and everything. We've talked within the group chat here and there. So listen, all of the girls on that show are amazing. But yeah, they're a funny bunch. Obviously, when you're under pressure on the TV, I can imagine sometimes you just forget stuff, or whatever the case may be. So I don't fault them for that at all.
I don't know if we're technically in the spoiler stage here, but did the champ find love? Are you still on the market?
Hey, listen, ladies, the champ's still on the market, so if you want to hit me up. Obviously, like I said, she was a great girl and everything, but there was no romance there. And listen, I'm yet to find it, but obviously I've just been sort of keeping my head down, focusing on my training. So I've not really been. Obviously, when I say I've been trying to overcome barriers like socially and stuff like that, but really, it's only when I'm given that opportunity. Now, being in fight camp, you're not given a lot of those opportunities. So I tend to just focus on my training and focus on my goals and stuff like that. And like I say, things will come. Like, maybe someday I'll go out there and there'll be some girl there and, we'll get along real great and then cool. And I think that's probably the best way for it to just to be a natural thing. So, but yeah, if any, eligible ladies, are out there watching the interview, then obviously you can DM me and then maybe we'll get something started. Who knows?
Maybe after November 22nd though, because we get some things to take care of.
Exactly.
So let's talk about this fight. Your return to action, your first title defense. There are many people that I've talked to in this game that have been champions or were champions, and they believe that it's not real unless you go out there and defend your title. Now, I'm not a fighter. I haven't won a championship since I was in high school, and it sure as heck wasn't in fighting. So do you believe in that as well? That, winning the title is great, but until you defend it, it's not real, I guess?
Do you know what? It's funny you say that because I literally just put up a post on Instagram saying just that. Yeah, so I said, you're not really a champion until you've defended it. That's how I feel. That's obviously, it's all good and well, having that name out there, being the champ and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel that to really solidify my place, along the long reign of like amazing champions that have been at Cage Warriors, I have to go and defend it. I have to go and prove 100% that there was no fluke. There was no, I am the champion for a reason. And obviously, I'm going to go ahead and do that on November 22nd.
You get Riccardo Nosiglia. He's from Italy. He's a very tough opponent, very game. He's on a nice streak. He's a big finisher. 8-1. He's making his Cage Warriors debut in a couple weeks' time against you. Did you know much about him when the contract was sent your way?
Funny enough, I found at one point I found it very hard to get matched. I don't know if I've mentioned it, but I actually had 16 pullouts. So I found it very hard for myself to solidify a fight. And actually, as I was going through like sort of names and stuff like that, his name actually did pop up, and I saw, this guy's got a very good record. He's got all finishes and stuff like that. So I had heard of him before, but then when it popped up again and I had a look at his name, I'm like, okay, well, this looks sort of familiar. And then obviously I've seen his fights on YouTube and stuff like that. But yeah, like you said, very game opponent, very tough. But I feel I have the tools that I needed to go in and take him out.
One of the things that stuck out to me from our last conversation is we talked about how cerebral of a fighter that you are. You're always very well prepared. You, your dad, your team always put together these really strong game plans. You're very well prepared, both in the gym and just watching film and getting ready on that aspect. How has this puzzle been to figure out?
Right. Well, in our eyes, it was a very similar game plan to our last opponent. However, we had to tweak a couple things because this guy is very heavy-handed from stand-up and on the ground. He's got a much better ground and pound game than what I've seen from our last opponent. So really, to be honest, it was doing the same sort of things, but just sort of adding little layers, just being a bit tighter with my technique, making sure I'm doing things just that little bit better. So, just tying up on those areas where I could have potentially been even a little bit loose in my last fight, just to make myself even that harder to take down and even that harder to keep down on the floor either. So, work on those things to make them as solidified as possible was the main goal of this camp.
You are on another massive fight card for this organization. I mean, the Night of Champions card was just like legendary, no doubt about that. But, this is one that's nothing to sneeze at either. 3 title fights, including yours. I mean, Patty Pimblett's on the card. That's always a big deal. This is another great opportunity for you on November 22nd, isn't it? This is pretty cool, right? Back-to-back cards like this?
Oh, yeah, it's absolutely amazing. Obviously, listen, if it's me, I would love to fight all the time. When I fought in June, I wanted to fight in September, I wanted to fight in October. Obviously this was the fight that made the most sense because obviously being in my hometown of London. So yeah, obviously it's another monumental. They always put amazing cards in London, so again, to be part of a monumental event for me is an absolute honor. I love representing London, representing Lithuania as well. Just being out there with my hometown crowd. It's a very great venue and everything. So yeah, it's amazing. It's funny, out of all the fights I've had for Cage Warriors, this is the first time that I'll be fighting on the main card. So obviously that'll be another experience that I'll be looking to thrive upon and have an amazing experience out of. That
just shows us how deep the talent roster is, that you had a title fight and it wasn't on the main card. Like that, that event was just an anomaly anyways. But how much does that excite you that you're going to be on the main card this time and a lot of extra eyeballs are going to be on you? Oh yeah, definitely. When extra pressure comes in and you got more eyes on you and there's more at risk and stuff like that, I think that's just going to bring the best out of me. It's going to bring the more explosive side out of me because you have all this stuff going on and you have to rise to the occasion. It just makes me smile and makes me excited that I have to rise up once again to another massive occasion. And again, there'll be different things that they'll be doing on the main card. They make more of a cinematic sort of deal with that. I had a bit of that experience with my last fight, but now that's going to be even more so with this one. So yeah, like I say, the Cage Warriors are always preparing fighters to get ready for the big shows, like the UFC and stuff like that, with all the media stuff and so yeah, fighting on the main card and being the third fight from the last is amazing. To be seen as one of the more exciting and prominent fights on the card obviously means a big deal to me, and I can't wait to rise up to that occasion. So you'll be the table setter, so to speak, here. You'll be leading off the title fight festivities, setting that bar really high here for everybody else against Riccardo Nosiglia on November 22nd. How do you do it? How do you see this all playing out?
Well, in my eyes, I feel I will finish the fight. I feel very confident in my abilities. Listen, I give all respect to Riccardo. He's an amazing fighter, and he's very powerful and a very good fighter. But this is my time. This is my time to go and show out my full skill set, and to show that I am UFC material. I just want to go out there and put on my best skill sets out, and put on the best performance ever, and go and finish my opponent.
I know from our last conversation, and you just sort of mentioned it yourself, you're knocking on the door of a UFC opportunity with what you've been able to do. Like, you're right there. You're on the doorstep. Having that Cage Warriors title around your waist is certainly a nice chip in your favor, as history has suggested over the years. With a win and a great performance on November 22nd, even though you know that time's going to come, just like love, it's going to come at some point. Do you feel like that's going to be enough to get you over the hump, considering how big this card is and how many eyeballs will be on it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I've already been on their radar already. I think as well, MMA Junkie just came out with an article with their top 5 prospects who are on the brink or on the doorstep. So, having, these sort of media outlets, bringing me out there a little bit more, and putting me more out in the spotlight, and for me to go out and win impressively, I think will definitely be a shoe-in to get the attention of the big promotion, and the big guys in the business. So now all I've got to do is go out there, have fun, go and put in a big performance, and I'm 100% sure that they'll be calling after that.
Let me ask you this: you get 2 phone calls, all right, back to back. You could either headline the next Cage Warriors card and defend your title, say like January, February, or you get a last second call to fight for the UFC, opening prelim fight. What are you going with?
I'll go to the UFC, mate. I think as a fighter, I think that as now listen, Cage Warriors is an amazing promotion. Listen, you got to give them credit. They run absolutely fantastic shows all over the country. They promote some high level mixed martial arts, and they give guys the platform to go onto the bigger shows and stuff like that. But obviously, I think every fighter's dream, or it should be every fighter's dream. I want to fight. I want to be recognized as one of the best fighters in the world. And the way I'm going to do that is going to go and fight in the UFC. I'm going to work my way up to the top. And that's exactly what I want to do. That to me would be already the first step of my dreams coming to reality. It's the fight in the UFC. But now from that point, it's not only going to be just a fight in the UFC, it's going to be to go doing well and go and become the champion of the UFC. That is the ultimate goal for me. As I say, as it probably is for most fighters. So the first dream come true would be going and get into the UFC, and then racking up the wins afterwards. It's just the journey, isn't it? So it's the roller coaster of the fight game, and I can't wait for everything to unfold.
And shouts to my man Nolan King from MMA Junkie for writing that article. Fellow Bostonian. Fellow Bostonian like myself. Nolan's a good dude. One of the good guys in this industry. So shouts to him, and shouts to you as well. Modestas Bukauskas, ladies and gentlemen, defending the Cage Warriors light heavyweight title in a couple weeks' time, November 22nd. Cage Warriors 111. What a card this is going to be. It is stacked. One of 3 title fights. You can watch it all on UFC Fight Pass. Great chatting with you again, man. Before we let you go, let the folks know where they can find and follow you on the web, social media, shout-outs, anything else you want to get off your chest, man. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, by the way, for having me. I really appreciate it. It's always nice talking to you and my friends. So, I really appreciate that. On social media, MODYB24 for Instagram. For Twitter, it's basically my name, but a little bit cut off. And it's the capitals on the first letter of each of my names. So, Modestas, MODESTAS, then BUKAUS, and then 1. That's my Twitter account. I'm pretty sure that, and then Facebook is just my full name, which again is another mouthful, another handful to write out there, I'm sure. So, I have to give a big shout out to obviously everyone who's helping me out for my fight camps. All my teammates. My dad. Gintas Combat. Got to thank Denison Sutherland, Danny Batten, Mill Hill BJJ, Roger Gracie's Academy, Legion Fitness with the wrestling. So there's a lot of guys that come and help. Marcin, who's one of my main training partners, is a real big help. I've got a lot of people supporting me and backing me, and like I say, most of you know who you are, and I can't thank you enough for showing me the love and showing me the support. All the people that have bought tickets to come and see me fight, you have no idea how much that means to me. To have all you guys go out there and witness greatness and witness an amazing night of fights and get to see, just see artwork, artwork of people using their bodies, obviously in a bit of a violent way, but it's amazing to have so many people come and be interested and to see the sport grow and stuff like that. I've got to thank a lot of my sponsors, Distinct Physiotherapy, Merikilo, Sancta Pue, Mauler MMA, amazing clothing, Black Sheep Dispensaries. Sorry, the list does go on quite a bit. But yeah, Fighter Shop UK, amazing training equipment that they send me, and always help me out with my walkout stuff. So got to thank them and everything. So yeah, there's just a long list of people who are behind me, backing me, trying to help me get to the top, and I can't appreciate you lot enough. It really means the world to me, and the way that I'm gonna go and show my thanks to you lot is to go out there, put on the best performance ever, go and smash this guy, and go and defend my belt. And still.
Well said. Thank you, Modestas. All the best to you on November 22nd.
Thank you so much, my friend. You have a lovely day. Thank you for having me.